Go and verify. So go and verify. So hello everybody and welcome to this video. So in the course of this interaction, we shall be going back in time to look at the reasons why Peter Obi was impeached as the Anambra State Governor. So a lot of you, of course, you are aware that he was impeached at some point, and that would have been around about 2006. But what are the reasons that led to that impeachment is the question. So in the course of this video, I'll be sharing the screen with you because it's a read through of our articles at that time detailing the reasons why Peter Obi was impeached. So I shall share the screen with you, and then I'll put a link to the article in the comment section as well if you want to reread it. But let's go through the reasons why Peter Obi was impeached as the Anambra State Governor back in 2006. So a case against Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State. So Sahara reporters are the person. It could have been one of several news platforms, but this is the one that we're just going through. It's all documented in detailed form. So none of it is subjective. None of it is opinion-led. It's just really what transpired at the time. Case against Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State. So what exactly was the case against Peter Obi that led to his impeachment? So pardon me, I have a sip of water. All right. So Article 1. So it's really the list of charges levied against him in the course of that impeachment. So Article 1, that Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virgie Atiaba, in violation of their oath of office and constitutional obligation not to allow their personal interest to influence their official conduct and decisions, did corruptly influence and cause to be placed huge sums of money belonging to Anambra State government in Fidelity Bank PLC, being a bank both of them have substantial interest in, and of which the governor was the immediate past chairman, thereby putting themselves in a position where their personal interest conflicts with their duties and responsibilities, contrary to Code of Conduct for Public Officers, Fifth Schedule, Section 1, 1999 Constitution. So a lot of you, of course, you are aware that Peter Obi invested in a brewery. I can't quite recall the name. Hopefully, it will be captured in the course of this narration. But you may not be aware, and we're now being told that he actually pumped a lot of Anambra State government money into Fidelity Bank. And that is not to say that he stole the money and then it was found in Fidelity Bank by eagle-eyed accountants and investigators. No, but there's a conflict of interest there because he stands to gain personally, of course, being one of the key investors in that bank and using then the state funds to boost up the balance sheet of that bank and to profiteer from it. A conflict of interest, and according to what they're saying, conflicts with their duties and responsibilities contrary to the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, Fifth Schedule, Section 1, 1999 Constitution. So that's the first charge that was levied. Article 2, that Mr. Peter Obi, in violation of his oath of office and constitutional obligation not to allow his personal interest influence his official conduct and decisions, did corruptly influence and cause to be awarded, and without due process, the contract for the reconstruction of the governor's office complex occur in the sum exceeding rather 100 million naira to one of its campaign managers and associates, Mr. I.K. Nwadu, using his company as a mere stratagem and instrumentality, thereby putting himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts with his duties and responsibilities, contrary to the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, Fifth Schedule, Part 1, 1999 Constitution. So it's quite clear there. So without recourse to due process, using his influence as the governor of the state, awarding huge summed contracts to his cronies, 100 million naira to one of his campaign managers and associates, Mr. IK Nwadu, using his company as mere stratagem and instrumentality. So it's just shrouded in this is cronyism, it's nepotism, and very much in the realms of corruption. Because of course, we don't know how inflated that contract would have been. We don't know to what quality it was. Anyway, you can all read even the mere practice itself, even if it was carried out to the letter, the mere act of using his influence to favor outside of due process the awards of contracts to his cronies, that of course runs contrary to what subsists as constitutional. Article 3, that Mr. Peter Obi, in violation of his oath of office and constitutional obligation, not to allow his personal interest influence his official conduct and decisions. So the word corruptly seems to be recurring a lot. Did corruptly influence and cause to be awarded to his kinsman, Mr. Anthony Akulu, using Akulu's company, the contract for the construction of buildings in the so-called business village worth over 100 million naira without due process and appropriation by the State House of Assembly, thereby putting himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts with his duties and responsibilities, contrary to Code of Conduct for Public Officers, 5th Schedule, Part 1, 1999 Constitution. So it's the Code of Conduct for Public Officers, that particular schedule, that they seem to have used to nail him. Article 4, that Mr. Peter Obi, in violation of his oath of that Mr. Peter Obi, in violation of his oath of conduct of office and constitutional obligation, not to allow his personal interest to influence his official conduct and decisions, did corruptly influence and cause to be awarded without due process and competitive bidding the contract for the construction of the State Secretariat complex at the cost of over 500 million naira to one Mr. Paul Enedom, PB Nigeria Limited, his partner and business associate, with whom he is jointly enterprised in the development of a shopping complex situated in the Central Business District, Abuja, opposite Depi Harima, opposite Depi Harima House, a Federal Ministry of Transport adjacent the Central Mosque. So there it is right there. All of this, of course, the textbook corruption space of the Nigerian man of influence, using his influence to award shady contracts to his cronies without due recourse to due process and constitutional laid down processes and procedures. So there it is right there. 500 million naira worth of contracts to Paul Enedem, his partner and business associate. So this contract now for the construction of the State Secretariat complex was awarded to the same guy, Paul Enedem, that Peter Obi, as a private businessman, is constructing a shopping complex with in Abuja. So his party man that they are doing business together, he awards a contract, 500 million. And by the way, when we are saying 500 million, this is 2006. So you can, in today's currency, transmute that to say 300 billion naira. So that would be the equivalency. So to award that huge sum of money contract without due process to your most intimate business partner. So sharp practice, no. Corruption, you tell me. Article 5, that Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virgie Atiaba, in violation of their oath of office and constitutional obligation, not to allow their personal interest to influence their official conduct and decisions, did corruptly and without due process, uh, competitive bidding and appropriation by the House of Assembly, did award contracts for the following: several township roads, construction of IGR building, purchase of 20 refuse disposal vehicles and 4 payloaders, construction of new office building for Ministry of Lands, purchase of 40 buses, construction of new stock exchange building at GRA Onitsha. So there it is right there. You see, there's a particular reason why due process is set in place as the pathway to conducting governmental affairs. There's a reason why due process is set in place as the pathway for conducting governmental affairs. So due process is set in place for exactly the reason that somebody, by virtue of the influence of their position, cannot be acting to personal benefit, as seems to be what is being alleged against Peter Obi. Article 6. Article 6, that Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virgie Atiaba, in breach of their constitutional duties as governor and deputy governor respectively, to execute the laws made by the State House of Assembly, have refused to continue the execution of various road projects awarded by the past administration pursuant to Anambra state appropriation laws, occasioning huge losses to the state of heavy deposit of money already paid on the roads by the state government, to wit, Ogbonike Akwele. So it goes on to give you a list of the roads that are they abandoned. So you know, of course, when they award contracts in Nigeria, there's something they call mobilization fee. So which is an initial payout to the contractor to gather together the necessary accoutrements to carry out that contract. So all of this list, and there are several. I'm only not reading them out so that I don't mispronounce, which I almost certainly will, a lot of the names of the areas that the roads were awarded. So a lot of these roads are awarded, of course, mobilization fees paid. He abandons it for reasons of whatever, and that's to the heavy cost of the state. So that was one of the charges levied against him. Article 7. Article 7, that Mr. Peter Obi and Virgie Atiaba, in breach of Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution and Anambra State Local Government Law 2002, constituted themselves into sole administrators of the 21 local government councils of Anambra State. So a lot, of course, both in terms of their financing and their administration, Peter Obi never really ceded governance to get to the local level by way of facilitating for local councils, councillors, etc. Article 8, that Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virgie Atiaba, in breach of Section 162, subsection 6, 7, 8 of the 1999 Constitution and Anambra State Joint Local Government Distribution Account Law 2002, have constituted themselves into sole administrators of the state joint local government account and sole custodian disburser of the local government funds. So they cornered essentially the local government financing. So a lot of the discussions and debates within the Nigerian space, it's all circled around that local government space. And a lot of the arguments that is going on now is to speak to autonomy for the local government. So that autonomy, of course, the language of it is wrapped around what we are hearing from Peter Obi, or rather, pardon me, what we are hearing regarding Peter Obi in this instance, that local government monies just purloined, and you know, the local governments need autonomy. This goes beyond what Peter Obi is being accused of, by the way. The local governments within the Nigerian states within the Nigerian space, they need autonomy. Certainly, no equivocation about that. And until they get that autonomy, governance will not be as close to the people as it should be. So where were we? Where were we? Okay, so let's get back to it. So Article 9. So let's go on to Article 9. Article 9, that Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virginia Atiaba, in breach of their constitutional duties to execute the laws made by the Anambra State House of Assembly, have unilaterally dissolved some statutory bodies and commissions, particularly the Anambra State Universal Basic Education, contrary to the ASUBEB Law 2005, the Anambra Vigilante Services, contrary to AVS Law, the State Independent Electoral Commission, contrary to another law, and the relevant constitutional provisions and other actions contrary to the Street Trading Prohibition Law, the Park Administration and Management Bureau, and the dissolution of the Judicial Service Commission, contrary to the express constitutional provisional relating thereto, and the laws setting up these bodies and commissions. So almost acting like an emperor is what we're seeing. Article 10, that Mr. Peter Obi, in breach of his oath of office, not to do or direct to be done in abuse of office any arbitrary act prejudicial to the right of any other person, and in utter disregard of the right to life of every citizen and other fundamental rights of every citizen enshrined in Chapter 4 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, issued a shoot-on-sight order during the recent Onitsha crisis leading to the death of over 700 innocent citizens of Anambra State. So there's actually, if I have it, I'll play it to you, but there's a clip that we have on this platform that actually references that. I wonder if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, let me see if I can. I can't find it, but let me see if I can download it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can. No, I'm not able to bring it to you because it's embedded within the streaming platform that I use to stream. But let me see. All right, hold on. I'm just trying to see if I'm able to. There are videos that speak to that space. People of that time very much critical of what happened in that instance. The accounts then are 700. It says issued a shoot-on-sight order during which actually should I be insistent on showing you that video? I might well be insistent on showing you that video because that video actually captures it, because somebody of that time documents it in recent time because people are still aggrieved about that matter. Issued a shoot-at-sight order, so that should be shoot-on-sight, of course. Issued a shoot-at-sight order during the recent Anambra, during the recent Onitsha crisis, leading to the death of over 700 innocent citizens of Anambra. So there it is right there. So I think about two more. Article 11. So Article 11, that Mr. Peter Obi, in breach of his oath of office to devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of Anambra State and Nigeria, failed to show concern and sensitivity to the victims, both injured and bereaved, of his shoot-at-sight order through remuneration and compensation, but rather justifying his obnoxious order on the need for increase in internally generated revenue, which said revenue has been plummeted in spite of the very high number of casualties. So I'm not quite sure what that means. It did not show enough sympathy, and more to it, did not pay compensation. But it carries on. Therefore, we, the undersigned members of the Anambra State House of Assembly, in accordance with Section 188, subsection 2 of the Constitution and pursuant to the foregoing, do hereby present to the Honorable Speaker, Anambra State House of Assembly, with this notice of allegations against Mr. Peter Obi and Dame Virginia Atiaba, the governor and deputy governor, respectively, of Anambra State, who by the foregoing are guilty of gross misconduct in the performance of the functions of their offices as governor and deputy governor, respectively, of Anambra State of Nigeria. So there it is right there, and there it is right there. So those were the charges levied against Peter Obi that led to his impeachment in around about 2006. Let me come off that screen now. But as you all well know, of course, Peter Obi subsequently he was reinstated via the legal system. But a lot of and by the way, he was reinstated on a technicality. So I'll be doing a separate video on how Peter Obi was reinstated, but he was reinstated on a technicality rather than any of these charges being disproved. So those charges, they still subsist as being levied against him because, of course, he has not cleared his name of those charges. It was discharged on a technicality. So look out for a part 2 then of this video where we shall go through the reasons then that Peter Obi was reinstated. So come share thoughts about all you've heard with me in the comment section. And also in the comment section, you'll see a hyperlink to something that says buy a coffee. If you want to do, I don't suspect that you would want to, because I suspect that a lot of the people that will be watching this particular clip will be Obi supporters. But if you are of independent thought and you feel that the effort of the video is worthy of being done, go to the comment section, click on the link that says buy your host a coffee, and you may then choose to reward the platform with some sort of a tip or a donation. So do that at your will. So I'll leave it here. I'll leave it here. Carry the conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.